Y'all already know. It's time to get it busting for today's episode. On today's episode, we're going to hear CDubb's thoughts on Zach LaVine possibly being traded for Darius Garland. But the main topic for today is how important has Demar DeRozan been for the success for the Chicago Bulls? Can we contribute it to one game? Or has he changed since he re-entered that lineup? And we got a voicemail from Ricky Curl. Y'all already know we're going to talk about it. But you know, you gotta hear the music first. Cognac, gang. Shot Boys Podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm with my dog, CDubb. How you doing, boy?
And I'm feeling great, man. It's always feeling good after a win, man. It's
You
always feeling great.
already know. You already know. But if y'all like what y'all listening to today, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that noti bell. Hey, CDubb, we never really got your thoughts on the Zach LaVine being traded or the Bulls attempting to trade Zach LaVine for Darius Garland. People heard me. Before we get into the main thing, what are your thoughts on that whole situation?
Let me first give out some props to Darius Garland, because Darius Garland is a pretty nice player. He's a fantastic player, point guard. He's really a shooter, you know what I'm saying? But with his height, he does play the point guard, and he's pretty good playmaking out there on the basketball court. But at this present time, I'm gonna have to pass on him just only because uh Kobe White. There's nothing to say about that. I'm glad it didn't fall through. I understand that they tried, the emphasis on tried, and the basketball gods was with us, and that shit didn't go through, and we probably ruined a guy like Kobe White. Now I know a lot of people say, so Kobe White 6'5", he could play on the same court as Darius Garland. I don't think so. I think you ride Kobe White in a point guard position. If y'all look at the last game, he bust out his first double-double with like a 20 and 10 game. So he's still growing in that position, and I don't want to impede that progress.
I'm with you. I know you probably seen the video, but I told the people, I said, hey, maybe the Bulls thought that they can get a backcourt that's kind of similar to Trey Young and DeJounte Murray, two of the guys that do a little bit and kind of cover up on each other's weaknesses a little bit. DeJounte Murray kind of fills in and backs up the defensive side for Trey Young. Trey Young is the more prolific offensive scorer. What do you think about that analogy or comparison?
I hear you on that. I think scoring wise, it'll be on that level, but you don't have a defender. Uh, both of these. Okay, Kobe White is pretty good. He's got to at least, well, he's respectable, but Darius Garland is not known to be a great defender. So I wouldn't totally lean to them being that similar, but offensively, yeah.
For sure. We gonna leave it at that. Y'all heard it from CDubb. Now we jump into the main thing. CDubb, I'm looking at DeMar DeRozan. I believe he was out, you know what I'm saying? And then once he came back, we was like, hey, the boys, they just won a decent game. Is DeMar DeRozan gonna come back and play well with the young guys? I believe in that first game he came back, he was a bit shaky in that first quarter, probably so more so in the second quarter as well. And then he kind of found himself and he allowed himself to just play within the offense and allow the young guys to eat. And I believe that carried on, all the way until, the last game that we played in, which was against the Miami Heat. And he allowed Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu to really cook things up, cook up that beef stew. And he did his job. And I believe that he's been a major part to the Bulls' recent success. Do you think how you looking at everything? How you scouring the landscape?
It's really pretty much been up and down with me since this Bulls had this recent youthful resurgence they've been having. I like a couple games, especially the last game that DeMar DeRozan played. 41 minutes, 14 shots, 6 of 14. It's below 500, but it's still pretty decent. He dropped 23. You know he's gonna get to the free throw line. Listen here, these are the facts. DeMar DeRozan is having a pretty good season at 22 points per game, and he's shooting 36% from 3-point range, nephew.
Mhm.
And he's averaging his highest assists as a Chicago Bull.
Mm.
So he is trying. It's just too many times he'll get into that mindset where he try to win it himself. And you could just see the inconsistencies in his field goal attempts in like the last 5 games. You get a 14 attempts, 13 attempts, then you go 30, 24, 20, and then it drop down again. So he just need to find that median and don't get in the way. Stay the fuck out the way.
I'm with you on that. I think that's a fair analogy. I mean, a fair analysis when it comes to the whole thing. Because when I look at it, I do see like those moments, you know what I'm saying, to where it's like that ISO ball is taking effect. And I think that's kind of like contributes to the player he is. If he feels like the Bulls absolutely need it, a lot of the times he's going to go out there and do it. And I believe, at least from the last game, I can give you this. He didn't really get in the way. He seen that Vooch was doing what Vooch needs to do, and what hey, my guy, he called for more touches, and the touch has been working. And I don't
You
think
talk you talk
I
about
don't
last game against the Heat.
yes.
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
yeah, like Vooch, I don't think the touches was hey, I need to put up more shot attempts, but I believe I'm a good passer to where I can pass guys open, or I can make certain passes across the court. And Vooch was doing that. And DeMar DeRozan, he pretty much stayed out the way. I believe that he felt the temperature of the game against the Miami Heat pretty well, and he felt it out well enough to the point to where he did exactly what you said. He did not get in the way of Ayo Dosunmu and Kobe White, and even a little bit contributions from Patrick Williams and what he
Yeah.
was trying to do. He stayed
Mhm.
out the way. And I think that's what, like, you know what I'm saying? So my question for you, I guess, is what is the blueprint moving forward?
I think the Miami Heat game is the blueprint. I know there's once or twice or sometimes during the season you're going to need him to go off and go for 35, 40 points. But most of the time the template or the formula is, 14 to 18 shots. Make sure you get up 3 to 4 3-pointers and get them assist up like you've been doing for this season. Yeah, I think it's a formula for him to be successful with this team this season with these young boys trying to have this resurgence, but it's gonna take that Miami Heat, DeMar DeRozan, to do that.
So for the people that's wondering, can you kind of just further break down on what you mean for that Miami Heat DeMar that you seen that you believe he needs to continue to carry over?
Oh yeah, he was mostly looking to be a playmaker out there. As you can tell, he shot 14 field goal attempts in the game. That's DeMar DeRozan. He is a scorer, but he also can play make. He's averaging his highest number of assists per game since he came with the Bulls at 5.2. DeMar DeRozan, we gonna need him at certain points in certain games, and also we might need him for stretches in the season to go off for 35s and 40 points because he is a magnificent scorer. But for this team with these young guys to continue to get better, he must allow them to do so. Because when he's shooting 30 shots per game and we losing to the Bucks and he got 41 points, the 41 points don't really mean shit. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? So when we get 14, we beat another good team. The Heat is good, with the Bucks. And then when you shoot poorly from the field, now don't get me wrong, he still got to shoot consistently when he get his 14 to 18 shots. Like 3 for 13 against the Nuggets is a no-no as well. So
I get you. I feel exactly what you're saying. I think that when you talk about him and how he's probably placing himself within the offense, I think that the biggest thing is that with no Zach LaVine, you don't have two ball dominant guys on the court. But then also when you look at DeMar DeRozan and what he's been doing, you look at the IQ. I believe the IQ has been there. Like even with the crazy pass, the 360 pass, the second one of the season,
yeah,
he came from the corner three, drove baseline, drew defenders, did the 360, and threw it to Kobe White in the other corner for a wide open three.
with the
To
left.
me, to me, that's just a small example of the IQ. And I know that, like, I ain't trying to, throw shade on Zach LaVine, but we got to keep it a buck. That's what we do over here on Shy Bulls podcast.
Oh,
With
yeah.
all the athleticism that Zach LaVine has, I ain't never seen him do a 360 pass. I'm not saying go. I'm not saying go get style points on here. Just play basketball. But I'm just saying the effect of DeMar DeRozan driving to the basket and finding guys available speaks more so to in favor of DeMar DeRozan, more so than Zach LaVine. Even though I believe Zach LaVine can be the more explosive scorer, but he does need to get the IQ ready. Because I know Zach LaVine.
Let me ask you a question real quick,
weeks,
nephew.
But yeah,
nephew, I'm sorry. Let me ask you a question. Who better to fit this team with this young resurgence with these young people, DeMar or Zach LaVine?
If you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, I probably would have said Zach LaVine, but it's obviously DeMar DeRozan at this point.
Okay.
Is you can't deny it, bro. It's obviously DeMar DeRozan at this point in this regard, and this is why. The man IQ speaks for itself. He's playing unselfish basketball. He's playing well, and everyone's touching the ball. The ball is literally going into the paint. The ball is going outside and it's swinging across the court. That is winning basketball, because when you do things like that, you force the defense to have to shift their defense. And at certain points, that shift is going to be screwed up by the opposing team, and you're going to have an open shot. And that's what's been happening more so often than not for the Chicago Bulls.
So do you just base it upon the intelligence on the court, or is it 3-point shooting? Is it ball movement? Is it just the IQ? What is it?
I think it's a little bit of everything.
So
because
Zach. Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Because I know DeMar's shooting 36% from 3 right now, but you think Zach can shoot better than 36% from 3?
Of course.
I know DeMar DeRozan is being a good playmaker, i.e., the last Miami Heat game, even though he only had 4 assists. But you think Zach can make some of those passes as well?
I believe he can, but the problem is I believe that Zach, and Steve-O said it the best, Zach wastes dribbles.
He does.
He wastes dribbles, and sometimes he's a bit indecisive for me.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he is the better player. I'm not going to say that, I believe he is, but I believe the better fit goes to the guy with the cornrows.
I agree with you, nephew, and the fact that they respect him and they look up to the man. You know what I'm saying?
I believe that's a huge factor. I believe that he's so well respected because of the leadership that he has. You know what I'm saying? The leadership he's shown with the young guys, bro. I don't care if you under 24, you going to work out and you ain't got a choice, is what he said.
Yeah. And and he got the right guys too that look to him for leadership. Ayo, Patrick Williams. I don't know so much of Kobe, but I just add Kobe White in.
Kobe, yeah.
Yeah, so you right. I just had to ask
the
question.
He didn't pull him in.
Yeah, I just gotta ask the question. I have to ask the question because I just gotta ask the question. Because Zach, he good, but he gotta go. But he could have had an opportunity. I think he jumped the gun too fast, but too late to talk.
I agree with him. I agree with him. I agree with you for sure. Because we really don't know. Like if Zach LaVine, because we don't know if he's gonna be traded. I would imagine that the Bulls are hoping that they trade him before he can come back. I imagine they don't want to see him come back. I think that he should. They probably believe he's played his last game, but
they just know they know the formula now. It can't work with 2 dominant wing players. It can't work. So one gotta go. And Zach, you just made the choice easy for the front office. Easy.
Oh, I don't feel like I need to add nothing after that. Let's get into this. I feel like that was a great way to end it. But hey, we got one voicemail of the day. This voicemail is from one of our best supporters, Ricky Curl.
Ricky.
What up, Bobby? CDubb, this is Ricky Curl. I was sitting here watching TV, okay? And this Bull Digest, this guy, he's a straight up idiot. I don't mean to say it. He really don't know about basketball. He doesn't know what he see. still know how to dig down in there and see the future. But what I'm saying is that they need to stop talking about DeMar DeRozan getting traded. He's a closer, man. Whoever come in there, they bring in there, he can close for them. That's why I don't understand all this DeMar DeRozan. Man, some of y'all brothers, I hate the brother. I don't understand why. I don't mean dislike, you hate him. Why? The brother going to the Hall of Fame. He been to All-Star games. He's one of the best scorers in the NBA. Because of Billy? That's why y'all... Hey, listen. Let me ask you a question. First of all, I asked a while back when I first called in. Would you hurt yourself with Billy? Really? You seen the last game? Billy, there was 2 challenges he couldn't have lost, and he took the hardest one. Billy do things for the other team. I don't know if he tried to do it or not, but he do shit the other team needs to do. Like when we was going on that losing streak, man, you didn't realize they were losing the league. He was serving 3 meals at one time. How in the heck can you these guys out here busting their butt for the last 10, 12 minutes? And you go and they missing, and you gonna play some more cold people out here, so some more people that they can get their groove on, that don't have their groove on. That's why they lose league. And I do not understand on none of y'all guys' podcasts why y'all can't talk about the damn referees. Are you serious? Really? Y'all think the referees get the bull a fair shake? I don't know. I got a 74-inch and a 60-inch. I don't know, maybe I need a bigger TV because I'm seeing something that everybody else don't seem to be seeing or want to talk about. And when them guys not hustling, you know, if Billy would get up and fight for them, like that last game, you can say Andre Drummond had a good game. He was dragging. He was dragging, man. Okay? They need everybody to hustle. And they will win, man. And I got to give Billy some credit. These last few games, but you know something? He always seems to find a way to get in there and do something wrong. That's what y'all talk about adjustments. He's still taking a hot player out the game. I'm sorry. I just don't have no faith in Billy. I've been this way for a couple of years. And the only problem
all right, Ricky, it's a 3-minute limit, my guy. I know you left something else after that, but we can only play one, bro. But CDubb, take it away.
Hey, DeMar DeRozan, I don't hate DeMar DeRozan. I love DeMar DeRozan. It's just a catch-22. We couldn't have two perimeter scores on his team. But now he's going to be the one, and he's in transition, learning how to play a new way that's going to help his young team win. That's it. I'm just critical of DeMar DeRozan because I know that he can do better. That's it. Now, when we come to the referees, they've been ass all over the NBA this season. That is a fact. They've been shit. So I'm with you on that.
I'm definitely with the, you know what I'm saying, looking at the officiating. But for me, Ricky, I can't base wins and losses on the officiating if it didn't come down to the last shot. And sometimes in those games, and in most games, pretty sure most people will agree, the refs are bad.
Yeah.
But in most games, you should be able to overcome the officiating and impose your will for the game. So I can't basically base my entire take on the officiating unless it's like absolutely egregious. I believe it's been bad, but nothing has stood out to be absolutely egregious to me as of yet. And then when it comes to DeMar DeRozan, look, early on, everybody know. I was like, hey, if you pay Zach, keep Zach, and DeMar DeRozan is on an expiring contract, get him out of here. But the thing we came to find out is that Zach LaVine wants to get out. DeMar DeRozan wants to stay. So I got to go with the guy that wants to stay here and who's giving me evidence that he can make it work with the young guys. He's not going to get in the way of them for the most part. So as of right now, I got to rock with DeMar, and the guy that wants to leave, I have your bags ready at the door when you're ready to go.
Hey, bro, throwing Giannis out for dunking on somebody is egregious, my guy.
Bro.
You said it ain't nothing been egregious. That's egregious.
I'm talking about for the Bulls.
Oh, for the Bulls. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Like the for us that affected a win or a loss. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't been none of that. It's been some bad.
It's been some bad things.
Bad officiating, yeah, but not like that. That you can
but
blame
nothing
it.
to I'm like that's the reason the Bulls won or lost the game. So I can't
none of that.
You know.
Yeah,
for sure.
Right.
But you got anything left, for?
All right, man. Shout out to y'all. Y'all, man, we gonna be on Instagram pretty soon with the live calls and any lives that we have. Make sure y'all tune in. Shout out to y'all, bro.
For sure. Make sure you subscribe here for all your latest Bulls content. If you want to call in and be a part of the mailbag episode, call in. Number is 773-242-9219. We literally got it right there in the middle of your screen. Literally. But this is another episode of Shy Bulls Podcast. I'm Bobby, that's CDubb. We're going to catch y'all on the next one. For sure. Cognac. Gang.